Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I'm going to be reorganizing my bookshelves and giving you guys a bookshelf tour. Basically, my shelves are organized by genre, but because I have acquired new books and I am obviously going to buy more books in the future, I need to move some things around so that my organizational system is still going to be effective and I'm going to have room for everything. So I'm going to do a little montage here where I move everything around and then I will give you a tour of my bookshelves. Obviously, I'm not going to go over every single book that I own because that would take way too much time, nor do I think it would be very interesting, but I'm going to show you shelf by shelf and discuss some of my favorite books and other items that I have on that shelf. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will put a timestamp on the screen if you want to skip the organizational part and go right into the tour. You can do that, and without further ado, let's just get started on reorganizing my life. Organized in a way that's going to work for now. I had to move some books to different shelves in order to fit everything, and obviously if I buy a bunch of more books in the future, I'm gonna need to move things around again. Honestly, someday I will probably outgrow these bookshelves entirely, but for now, I think I reached an organization that's going to work for me. Let's go with the bookshelf tour. So first up here we have my contemporary shelf. This is only one shelf. It does not have a lot of books on it because I do not read contemporaries really anymore. Most of these books on here are books that I had when I was in middle school or high school. First of all, the Sara of Dessin, which I absolutely used to love her. I read all of her books. Some of her more recent releases I haven't read because they came out after I was no longer interested in contemporary, but wow, I used to love these books. I remember I really liked this lullaby, and I think Just Listen I also really liked. I used to have even more Sara Dessin books, but I got rid of some of them that I didn't like as much and that I was sure I wasn't gonna read again. Honestly, I'll probably never read any of them again, but yeah, I didn't really want to get rid of all of them. I used to really love these books. This next shelf is not very interesting. This is nonfiction books. Most of these are books that I read for school and then didn't sell back, like for example, You Can't Touch My Hair, The Road to Character, other poetry books. I also have these two books on ghost stories of Pennsylvania that I bought when I was like 12 and thought ghost stories were really interesting, which, I mean, I still think they're interesting. Who doesn't love watching BuzzFeed Unsolved? But I diverge from the point. I do have a couple knickknacks on here that I think are kind of interesting that I want to show you guys. First of all, my Hamilton playbill is displayed front and center. I love Hamilton. Who doesn't love Hamilton? And I got to see it. It was an amazing experience. And honestly, when it was actually happening to me, I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was having some crazy, amazing dream for the first 3 or 4 songs. It was only after that that it actually hit me that I was really seeing it. And it was great. I didn't get to see the original cast, obviously, but I thought everyone in it was very talented and I look back on it fondly. When I was younger, I started keeping all the playbills from shows that I went to see on Broadway or in Philadelphia, just so I could remember the experience, and the other ones I have here are from Chicago, An American in Paris, Aladdin, Godspell, which I didn't really like. We got those tickets for a discount price after we saw the next show I'm going to mention, and it wasn't my favorite, but still a cool experience. How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I saw that with Nick Jonas, who was always my favorite Jonas brother and still is. I did really want to see it with Darren Criss, and I would have loved to have that, but Nick Jonas was absolutely amazing. I remembered there was one part where all the microphones cut out, and so they had to interrupt the show to say they needed a moment to fix it, and his reaction to it, he just rolled with the flow. It was amazing. He did a great job. Next, Kinky Boots. Wicked, which I saw Wicked multiple times. I don't have all the Playbills. I think I just have this one, but I saw it on Broadway once or twice, and I saw it in Philadelphia as well. Wicked is one of my favorite musicals. I absolutely love it. Oh, and I saw it on the West End as well, but they do not give out Playbills in London. Phantom of the Opera, which honestly, not one of my favorites, but you know, it's an iconic, timeless musical. Still was a cool thing to see, even though I didn't love it as much as some of the others. And a play that I saw at the Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia, Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. You're also probably wondering why I have this cheap plastic award from Party City on my shelf, and that's because for one of my birthday parties when I was young, I had an award show themed party. So we bought a bunch of these at Party City, and every single one of the guests got an award that was named after me, which I guess you could see as cute or a little weird, but still have it. I also have all my old yearbooks, and I have these books that I submitted to the Write and Illustrate Your Own Book contest at the library. I wrote this series of mystery stories that were really just Nancy Drew knockoffs with a titular female detective. This one won first place in 2008 when I was 9 years old. So actually, if you go to the library near where I grew up, you will see my book among the stacks and you can check it out. So yes, I am technically a published author, though if I reread this now, I would probably cringe so hard. But you know, I was 9 when I wrote this. I did not have a lot of originality, and you know, it was pretty cool when I won at the time. Made me feel great. I also found this picture of me dressed as Tigger for Halloween while I was doing my reorganization just now, and I think it's cute. Look at that little baby. I really was like just at peak cuteness when I was little. It's all downhill from there. Next, I started a new mystery and thrillers shelf. I moved some of the ones that were on the pre-existing mysteries and thrillers shelf down here. The Female of the Species should probably be on the contemporary shelf, though. It's not really a mystery or a thriller like I originally thought it was, but it's here. I'm not moving it right now. And I also moved the Agatha Christie's from the classics shelf here, so I would have more room on that shelf, because technically they are also mysteries, so really they fit in both. And I also made a little pile here for large books or hardcovers that I can continue piling up when I get more of those. So that is mystery shelf number 1. Then mysteries and thrillers shelf number 2. Most of these, I think, are young adult mysteries and thrillers, though there are some adult as well. I also have a subsection on the shelf that is dedicated solely to Sara Shepard books. I used to love her when I was younger. I loved the Pretty Little Liars TV show. I didn't like the books as much just because they were so different and a little bit weird. So I used to really love Sara Shepard. I added the Elizas to this section since it's also by her. I don't love her books as much anymore. The Amateurs and Follow Me were kind of letdowns. It also bugs me that they decided they were going to change the cover in the middle of the series. So I have these 2 books and they don't match, which really bugs me. Why couldn't they have stuck with the same cover design until the series was over and then released another edition with a different cover? Like, it just bugs me that they don't go together. Also on this shelf, I have this owl planter that one of my friends gave for me. It used to have a plant in it. It doesn't now, and it just found home here, because why not? And I also have this thermos that I got when I declared my English major at college. There's a picture of our English building on it. I also work there as an assistant now. I am a English major with a creative writing concentration, if you didn't know, and a history minor. So I got this when I became an English major, just to welcome me into the department, and I still have it. I drink coffee out of it sometimes. Next is my shelf for fantasy, also dystopian books, mythology retellings, sci-fi, which I don't really have a lot of, or books that have fantasy elements. I am definitely going to need another fantasy shelf at some point. Like right now, I don't even have the entire Harry Potter series on here because some of my editions are at my dad's house, so I'm definitely going to need to expand just to fit all of those books on here. But for now, this is enough. I might move my classics shelf down in order to do another row of fantasy, but for right now, this shelf is enough. I have The Hunger Games on this shelf. I have been wanting to reread that because Suzanne Collins is coming out with her prequel, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I definitely wanted to reread this series, and I honestly thought I would have by now, but it hasn't happened yet. I also have this, which I got when my mom and my friend and I went to see the Mockingjay double feature when the Mockingjay Part 2 came out. So it's holographic, and I keep that just to remember when we all went together. It was a fun time. Next, my A Song of Ice and Fire books. I have all of the main series that are currently out, Fire and Blood, and the illustrated edition of A Game of Thrones, which my dad recently bought for me. Haven't read that yet, but it's beautiful. And they are accompanied by my Funko Pop of Ghost. This is the only Funko Pop that I have right now. In the future, I might like to get more of book characters to go on my shelves. I love Ghost. He's just the best character. He's a good boy, good doggo. I know he's a wolf technically, but oh my god, he's so cute. I love this little Funko Pop. Isn't he adorable? Then in my very tiny Harry Potter corner, which definitely needs to expand, I have this chocolate frog box. I bought this at Universal Studios, and honestly, I got the chocolate frog just so I could keep the box. I think the box is so nice, and I love it as an accessory. Hold on, I will actually open it up to show you guys the card inside. So the card is Kunda Sikes, and she was the first witch to ever do an Atlantic broom crossing. And last, but certainly not least, my shelf for classics, literary fiction, and historical fiction. This is also another shelf that someday I will probably have to expand on because I like classics and I only physically own a small number. I'm definitely going to get more in the future, but for now, this one shelf is enough. I had to move some stuff around in order to get my new purchases to fit. When I was abroad last semester, I bought this in Stratford-upon-Avon. The image is from, I believe, the first folio, and it's the image and text that goes along with Richard III. I bought this because I thought it was really cool looking, and I read Richard III, and I'm also really interested in the historical figure who, trust me, gets such a bad rap. He is not the person that he's depicted in the play, because the play was meant to be a tragedy and dramatic and interesting for people to watch, so he didn't actually have a hunchback, and didn't murder his wife. Probably didn't commit as many murders as you think he did, but I got this because I thought it was really cool looking and I wanted to get something Shakespearean in Stratford-upon-Avon to commemorate my time there. I also got a copy of Shakespeare's sonnets there, but that's at my dad's house. I don't have it here right now. When I do, it'll go on this shelf. Another thing I got in England last semester, I got this at the Jane Austen Center in Bath. I was staying in Bath for the semester, and this is a little booklet of the history of England by a partial, prejudiced, and ignorant historian, which Jane Austen wrote when she was young. It is her accounts of the different English and British monarchs. However, they are not entirely historically accurate, and they definitely are biased. Jane Austen was a Mary Queen of Scots fangirl, and she did not like the Tudors very much. You can definitely tell by reading this. I thought it was so cute, and I wanted to get it. Also, behind here, we have the few Clothbound Classics that I have. I love these editions by Penguin. I think they are so beautiful. I have Jane Eyre, Emma, and Persuasion here. I also have this Puffin and Bloom edition of Little Women, which I think is also beautiful. Haven't read it yet. I have to very, very soon because I love Little Women and I want to read the full classic. I think that is pretty much it for this shelf. I think I covered all the interesting things. Also down here on my desk, I have this cat, this ceramic cat that my mom found when she was cleaning the house, and she just left it in here because I love cats, so she figured I should have it. And this little bowl that I made in art class when I was really young, it is super shitty, but I still have it. And inside I have this, which is from University College, where I stayed for a week when I was abroad. It has their logo on it. It was originally holding a mint, which obviously isn't there anymore. It would have been like 6 months old. I ate it at the time. But I wanted to keep that because it has the logo. There's also a name tag with the logo and my name on it. And I just wanted to keep those to remember what it was like to be at Oxford, if only for a little while. Also, cannot do this without mentioning McFluff. Bought him in Scotland. He's a Highland Cow. I think the Highland Cows are so cute. And my friend and I got matching stuffed animals. I named mine McFluff at my mother's suggestion, kind of like Macduff from Macbeth. So yeah, he could totally slay the King of Scotland if he wanted. He's tougher than he looks. So guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this bookshelf tour. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new bookish videos every single Wednesday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a productive rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you in the next video.